Hi everybody, and today we're coming to you from the bike because we're here to talk to you about how to get fit and ready for your upcoming ski vacation. So we're going to talk about two truths. As you're a beginner, the amount of time that you spend skiing versus the amount of time that you spend resting is high. And as you become more and more expert, the amount of time that you spend skiing and the amount of time that you become resting becomes lower. You actually spend more time resting than you do skiing. So an example of this is, as you're a beginner, you might take a half-hour long run and then only get 5 minutes on a chairlift before you do it all over again. Whereas if you're a World Cup ski racer, you might be taking a 60-second long run and then spending 10 minutes on a chairlift. Another thing that changes is just the range of movement as you go from being a beginner to being an expert. As a beginner, typically the range of your movements is not very big, and then as you become more expert, you have a very large range of movement. It also happens quite quickly and with a lot of force and load. So an expert skier or somebody competing should probably be tailoring their exercise program to give them a large range of motion, strength and power through that range of motion, but they may only need to be able to complete exercise for about 60 seconds. So some exercises that are popular with expert skiers or competitive skiers are things like Olympic lifts, power lifts, things like CrossFit, because all of those exercises involve a large range of motion over a relatively short period of time with a lot of forces involved. Things you might not want to be doing, if this is your area, is spending a lot of time like I'm doing on the bicycle, because it turns out your aerobic fitness isn't really that relevant. Maybe if you do get on the bike or on the rowing machine, or maybe if you're outside running, it's really focusing more on hill sprints, intervals, some really fast action that happens and that you can't sustain for more than a minute. So beginner skiers are going to be looking to really have a fairly decent aerobic capacity. One, that's the likelihood of the exercise that you're going to be doing is going to be taking quite a long time. And then the other thing is you probably come from a lower elevation, so it definitely won't hurt to have some aerobic capacity in you, so when you come up, you can lose a bit and still function pretty well. So if the expert skiers, their range of motion is a lot, and the beginner skiers, the range of motion isn't very much. That doesn't mean that it's not exercise though. If you've ever done a plank or a wall sit, you definitely know that it takes a lot of energy to not move. These exercises are called isometric exercises. That's where your muscles are contracting, but your body actually doesn't really move. So that's kind of where you're going to want to focus. Some great exercises to develop this area of you are things like yoga. Yoga is going to give you great awareness, not in just how you move your body, but also help develop these isometric muscle groups. And then the intermediate skier or the everyday skier, you're going to be somewhere in the middle. You're going to need to have some aerobic capacity, and you're also going to need to have some strength throughout a range of motion, especially if you're looking to move out of the intermediate bubble into the more advanced bubble. It's time to start focusing on how much you can lift, how quickly, and through a bigger range of motion to start replicating the demands that we're going to be putting onto your body. So this video isn't a workout video, unless you're me, then it's a workout video. It's here to help us figure out what kind of programs we can get into so that we're prepared and ready for our ski vacation. If you're on the beginner end, I highly recommend joining a little bit of a spin group, maybe taking some yoga classes. There's also a lot of YouTube videos out there that you can follow to go and get prepped for yoga. If you're on the advanced end, you're definitely going to want to get a lifting coach down at your local gym to go and help you with your form, because as you start lifting these weights, having proper technique is going to be important so that you don't end up hurting yourself. Or you can go to something like CrossFit. They've got some great coaches down there, and that's probably the right amount of intensity and duration that you're going to need to perform well. If you're an intermediate, all of the above. Start joining some CrossFit, join some yoga classes, work a little bit on your base aerobic capacity, and that's going to help you get the most out of your ski vacation. If you've made it this far through the video, thanks for watching. Suggest any tips or comments that you do to help train and prepare for the winter season in the comments down below, and click on the CSA logo to subscribe and get more videos.